The jailed Mexican population sits at 255,000. Drug dealers, gang members, murderers. If you're ever behind bars, it won't be easy for you at all. There's a reason prisons are called crime schools. But as of recent, there is hope. These prisoners learned how to tattoo for a chance at a better life.
I had no idea I was capable of being an artist like this. Same for them.
Jorge Cueto's mission is to give prisoners a second chance, in jail and in freedom. But how will he make that work? Let's start from the top. The most exclusive shopping district in Mexico City. In addition to the well-known luxury labels, there's a small shop called Prison Art. Our editor has an appointment with its owner, Jorge.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you.
Jorge discovered a niche market. Wallets, jackets, belts and bags, all tattooed by prisoners. His clients usually are rich tourists. It's hard to believe, but Jorge got the idea while going through hell on earth.
I was in a Mexican prison myself. I was in custody in the Puente Grande prison for 11 months. Things are very different here in Mexico compared to Europe or Germany. Even while the trial is in process, you're already detained. There's no pre-trial detention.
Jorge was arrested for fraud, alleged. While others give up, lose grip of their life, Jorge didn't. He kept his eyes peeled in jail, realizing the potential in the tattooing skills of his fellow inmates. He had an idea: to tattoo, not on skin, but on leather. As he was serving time, he started his business with the best prison artists.
After 11 months in prison, I was declared innocent and allowed to go. By the time I was released, 40 prisoners had already worked for me. They would say to me, "Patron, boss, please don't forget about us. This would be important for us to move on. We need this job."
Jorge kept his word and built a gold mine in the process. He sells around 600 articles in a price range between $100 and $600 per month. But in order to get to this point, he had to go through hell in prison.
There were times when there were over 30 of us in a cell designed to fit 6 people. There was so little room that we slept standing sometimes. They would use a special harness to hang themselves onto the bars in order to sleep.
Today, Jorge knows that he had to go through all of that in order to get here, in order to never forget that he saved a very special souvenir.
This is the first bag we made. The very first prison art bag.
Jorge needed a bag in jail back then to hold for his glasses, pens and a book. The tattoo artist initially was going to draw a phoenix.
It's in great shape and it'll stay that way because I'm not going to use it and it's definitely not for sale.
Once a week, Jorge personally brings in fresh leather to the prison located in the north of Mexico City. A total of 242 prisoners across 6 prisons tattoo for his label. To see the inside of a cell every week is normal for Jorge.
It's completely different to go in knowing that you're going to come out. When you go inside not knowing whether or not you leave again, it's different. Fortunately, I got over it with time. Otherwise, we wouldn't be where we are today. But being locked up feels terrible.
Jorge's destination, the Reclusorio Norte. More than 11,000 prisoners are behind bars in here.
This is the prison.
The Reclusorio Norte is a complex of in total 4 prisons. 2 of them are maximum security prisons. Jorge does his production in the Annexo, a smaller extension to a main building.
You can only film up to this point.
There are currently 169 prisoners in this part of the prison. They will all be released within the next year. Their last year of imprisonment should prepare them for a life outside of jail. The inmates are allowed to work in order to make some money, in garbage disposal, as a maintenance guy or a cook. But logically, whoever gets to tattoo for Jorge has hit the jackpot. Some colour for a grey and dull day-to-day in prison.
How are you?
18 prisoners in here work for Jorge. In for robbery. None of them have ever tattooed professionally. They only picked up the trade in jail. Anyone who follows certain rules can participate.
If the applicants are violent or addicted to drugs, for instance, a committee in prison will not admit them. They think that wouldn't work, and they know the inmates best. We want to give everyone a chance, so we don't have any restrictions.
If you want to tattoo here, you have to follow Jorge's unbreakable rules, which are no alcohol, no drugs, regular interaction. If you don't follow those rules, you're out. Jorge's mission is simple: to turn criminals into good citizens. The prison supports him in this project.
It's easy to bring the material into this prison. The prison director is very receptive of the project, which is great for us because the boys can work faster, and so things are moving forward. Actually, we could have a larger production, but the prison limits the amount somewhat.
Edgar has been in prison for 4 years. He committed a series of robberies in order to afford his drug addiction. He continued abusing drugs behind bars for a long time even. Then, a new beginning came for him. He's been tattooing for Jorge for the past 6 months and is one of the best and most talented tattoo artists available.
I'm really proud of my work. I'm proud of the fact that I can do something like this. It's a shame I've only just discovered it. I had no idea I had it in me to become an artist. The same for them.
Unlike real tattoos, the prisoners tattoo the leather with shoe dye. More rare colours like gold are also a possibility. The tattoo machines are from a self-made prison brand.
The machine is made of a hair clip, a thread, and a regular sewing needle. There's a spoon in there, a regular one for eating. The motor is connected to the thread and rotates. The tip is a ballpoint pen and a bit of cushion so that the fingers don't slip.
The needles are the only sharp objects Jorge is allowed to bring into prison. The motors come from old DVD players. With this machine, Edgar even gave himself a tattoo. Newborn, his new beginning. Today he signs every piece of leather he works on with it. Prisoners with flawless behavior are rewarded. Edgar has worked his way up to become a sort of supervisor when Jorge isn't around. But today, the boss personally brought his new motifs. During autumn, the Dia de los Muertos team involving skulls sells quite well. But there's one rule that is usually applied. Everyone tattoos what they can do best.
I'm specialized in the Catrinas, female skulls. I always fall in love with their shape. They're so beautiful.
The prison has influence on the selection of themes they work on. A total of 15 motifs are banned, such as guns, drugs, blood, or naked women. Jorge tries to prepare the inmates as best as he can for a life in freedom. They have to show motivation and a will to change. By offering flexible working hours, he doesn't force anyone into work. However, the inmates get paid per piece and size. Edgar earns up to $610 per month with his work. According to Jorge, that's even more than a prison guard. His philosophy consists of creating a financial cushion for when they're free. He also makes sure that half of the wages go directly to their families.
I still have an open case, but if everything goes as planned, I'll be out of here by October. From October onwards, I can continue to work in the foundation thanks to this job. This will also help me pay for a small place once I'm outside. What's the first thing you want to do once you're out? Go to the ocean. I'd like to go to the ocean and thank God for my freedom.
Jorge has a shop outside of prison where he hires ex-convicts. The products that were tattooed today here will be processed there tomorrow. That's where we head next with Jorge. We go to Guadalajara. It's hard finding a job in Mexico as a former convict. Jorge jumpstarts his guys here. They used to sell drugs or rob people. Now the former prisoners sit in front of sewing machines and produce bags, jackets and purses. But Jorge didn't just start the workshop to help them.
In prison, there's a lot of rules for what can be brought in. That's why it's important to have a production unit outside of prison. That way, there's also a station outside where people can continue working on the projects, just as they would in prison.
Sharp objects such as compasses or sharp knives would be unimaginable in jail. And Jorge can only execute a crucial step of his process here. A worker seals the surface with a special varnish to prevent the leather from losing its ink once it's turned into a wallet. Anyone who is already tattooed in jail for Jorge can continue to work for him here. Jalisco was released just a few weeks ago. He was in for robbery and assault.
The job has allowed me to become the person I am today. Previously, I'd already be scheming my next crime. But nowadays, my thoughts are about something else. Today I think about how I can or better execute the tattoos.
Immediately after his release, Jalisco came to work. Already free, he wanted to protect himself from his own self. In the end, he decided against joining his.
Yes, I met the gang again, and they wanted me to join them. But no, I wasn't interested.
Because that would mean going back to selling drugs. In Mexico's criminal hotspots, 1 in 3 relapses back into their old life.
On my body, on my neck, everywhere you can find reminders of my past life, the things that marked me. But now I'm doing the tattooing, and it feels much better. It brings me ahead. That's my future, and that's my gun now.
Jalisco is happy that he can work for Jorge. With all his tattoos, it will be difficult to stand a chance in finding a normal job. Jorge's products are expensive, but he knows that his customers will be able to afford to pay for them. Only this way he can afford to pay his workers a decent wage, as well as renting out the space for 5 boutiques and their staff. For almost a year of his life, Jorge was behind bars being innocent. But now he likes to reminisce.
It was a very trying moment of my life, a very painful time in prison. But something positive came out of this. It gave me the opportunity to understand what was needed to help others with their needs. It allowed me to start this project, as well as help and change me.
Jorge's mission has been a total success so far. Up until this point, none of his workers have gone back to a life of crime.